I'm Olivia Clementine, and this is Love and Liberation. Today our guest is Lama Sonam Tsering. We come together in conversation at his retreat place in the Hyolmo region of Nepal. Lama Sonam, I'm so grateful for you being willing to connect and speak about these things.
Yeah, no problem. I don't have there's some kind of useful talk, but still I'm happy.
Well, maybe we start with where were you born?
I was just born here, just a little below here, this village. I was born here.
Oh, okay. And so many people don't know about Hyolmo in particular. What are some qualities of growing up in Hyolmo? Like certain ways that you, like what are people living on in terms of livelihood, and what are some things that make Hyolmo Hyolmo?
Because Buddha himself also speak about Hyolmo, right? Buddhas, and then later, of course, because of then Guru Rinpoche came here, right? And Guru Rinpoche came here in his place, and then somehow it's called Behul. It's some kind of very special, like in Moscow, Hiran Valley, Behul Hyolmo. Yeah. So that's a very special for the point view of Dharma, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why kind of. Yeah, one way there's two, because we have we're far away. Used to we were far away from like lots of distraction. Mm-hmm. So that's who we were born here. Then they are like what do you call? They could focus on whatever they are living in, like own religion, in own culture, and like that. But they are not that. It wasn't that easy and easy to make like life, right? But we don't have that much what's called income. Mm-hmm. So, but it used to be when I was very young. Everybody's working here. They don't go that much out of the country, out of the village. So they're all living here. They're all doing like farmers. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't that easy to make life. So that's nowadays everybody's kind of tied to make a little bit easier for them to make life. So that's why everybody's kind of left village. Mm-hmm. So especially to do dharma, it's very nice, special place. Of course, to do dharma is supposed to be very nice and quiet, right? But here, automatically quiet, so there's no distraction. So that's why maybe I think it's very special for the dharma people.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying then, like now people are really working hard to make money, but back then there wasn't so much of a priority? Yeah, and so what were people doing to support themselves, for food, for just basic well-being that was common in Hyolmo?
Right. Yeah, because used to be like, because they can't see what's in other place, right? Yeah. Nowadays, because of the technology thing, right? They could see everything, right? What's going on in other place. So of course, that's our nature, right? If what we have, we are not satisfied. If you see something different, we want to have that. So that's why maybe who were born here, they're not happy with that, right? They want to have more, little bit easier or maybe fancier lifestyle. So that's why everybody's, probably let's say they're all trying to make good living, I think so. They all go in. First thing, of course, then you have to have first education, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have nice school. So if someone could do, they will always go to the town to have good education.
Like all the way down to Kathmandu?
Kathmandu. Mm-hmm. So then after Kathmandu, they get some kind of education, the general education, not in Dharma, let's say. And then after, when they get this education, after then they want more than that, right? So they will go to then foreign country, how to could get a good job or could make money. That's all. One way is kind of good, kind of news for their just general life, but for Dharma view, a little bit sad, everybody's kind of, as soon as they went to school and there's not much about Dharma thing, right? So that's a little bit, one way, not only in our community, everywhere is for Dharma a little bit kind of difficult. What I see, or what I've seen is like.
Mm-hmm. And when you were growing up and people weren't seeing the internet and
Yeah.
lured
Yeah.
into these places, what were some rituals and regular things that you did as a community? Like were there regular just seasonal rituals? Like as a community, what kind of dharma practices were you doing before when you were growing up, or ways you gathered?
Main thing, that's the thing, that of course, like 1-2 generations ago, there looks like very good teachers.
Yeah.
In Hyolmo areas. Of course, later then, of course, at that time to study, they had to go to Tibet. That's the thing, and that's very, very difficult. Still, some people went in study, came back here and tried to help. And then, anyway, until us, everybody, we could say everybody, like whoever in Hyolmo, Hyolmo, they are all Buddhists, A to Z, totally Buddhist. But even they don't understand what is Buddhist about. Still, they will call Buddhist. Just only, I think they knew it's just to do some kind of ceremony thing. They do something like 2-3 times a year. They do like general ceremony thing. I'll gather, and then sometime after when we get like what do you call it? When people pass away, then we have to have some kind of ceremony, right? Then of course they all have to do lamas. Only that is that looks like that Buddhist. That's our Buddhist, our tradition. That's how people understand. But right now, of course, in India, Tibet, there's a lot of very good place like Sheda or very nice school. They could learn about Buddhist. So now whoever is studying Buddhist is now, before it was kind of also, what do you call, monk. They have a faith, but what do you call, blind faith, like that. They all have they all go and pray, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know. Still, they will go and pray. But right now, all people who want to do practice, want to know, then they will try to kind of learn, what's really dharma, what is Buddhist. So that's happening like that right now.
And so for you, when did you come on the Buddhist path?
See, that's the thing, because I was born in Buddhist family. So as soon as I born, and I was Buddhist at that time.
Yeah. But then, I mean, you're somebody who practices, and you're a Drupal now, aren't you? Like you're a retreat master here for the 3-year retreat, and we'll talk later about all the many things you do and have done. But when did you then really consciously become Buddhist?
So that's the thing, like, of course, you have seen in Hyolmo, right? Wherever you go, each village has a monastery, little monastery, very big or small. But all villagers, they all do their own practice, right? They learn from their parents or some villagers. That's how we learn, because when I was born, as soon as I could speak and walk, always, like, something happened, we always go there, right? So that's how my father also, he was Lama. So first thing I learned from him, whatever he knows, he tried to teach us. That's how we learn general things.
Like what kind of things?
Like chanting, reading Tibetan texts. And then, as I told you, sometimes we do like Guru Rinpoche's days, not every month, but like every 2-3 months we have Guru Rinpoche puja, and then sometimes do general like smoke offering. That's a general thing, right?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Whatever happened, we go and we learn like that. And then of course there's a lot of that. When people pass away, then we have to do like what's called cremating. After cremate, then we have to do like 2-3 weeks or until 49 days we do some kind of ceremony. That sort of thing is general thing to learn, And to do that, then of course, then even we don't know that much detail. We know, of course, our parents know that reading and doing practice is not enough. We have to do like retreat, right? That's how we learn a little bit, like doing just Mundo retreat and like that sort of thing. That's how I learned from our parents, actually. Then later, of course, my parents found one teacher. Guru, he was a great yogi. Somehow he was wandering in Hyolmo area. That's how my father found him, and then he invited to stay in our place here. So he stay here, and then we get to learn a little bit more detail about Dharma.
And what was that person's name?
He was, generally we call him Meme Amji. Look, he was very good astrologist and then medicine. That's why Amji. His name was Etoldoje. He was great yogi. Yeah. He came to the Hyolmo area when I was born. Actually, that was in '67. That's how he's telling me a story. And after at that time he came and he was wandering everywhere. For food, he goes and beg. That was our tradition, right? When Tibetan or some lamas, if they are wearing robe, they could come and beg, and people give whatever they have. They will go to like about a month long, and then they will bring whatever they get, and they could do retreat. That's all happening. That's how he was doing, and that's how my parents met him. So after 4 or 5 years, he was staying like up there in Chepatong and everywhere. Finally, he came in our village here like when I was 6 or 7 years old, something like that.
And did you make an immediate connection with him when you were young? Or?
Yeah. Of course, then I don't have a choice, right? Because of our parents. Of course, our children have to learn dharma. That's how I was 6 or 7. I was speaking a little bit with someone, not even speech is clear, but then he sent me to learn Tibetan here. First thing you have to learn Tibetan. At that time we say like Dharma, Dharma language. But that was not real Dharma language, but still we came in. Then he was staying here. At that time he has a little house here, just right here.
On this land?
In this land, yeah, right here. And just little. And evening he want to by himself. Then morning 6 or 7 we come, and then 10 o'clock we get back, and then we go to home, have lunch, and that's how again afternoon we come, and like that's how we learn actually.
Wow. And was there a certain pathway he took you on, or was it? Where did you begin with?
Beginning is alphabet, and then there's Tibetan, how to read alphabet, and then it's called Jorlo and Tsagdi, right? To read Tibetan, then first have to spelling, reading, that's what Tsagdi. We have to do that days and days until we are fluent to read, and then we have to read another text. Then later, he will teach us how to write a little bit, and then like grammar things, that sort of thing. Then I'm not really sure, probably when I was 10, 11, something like that, then of course my dad wanted us to do like mundo. Frustration, let's say frustration. That's why I told you earlier, that was too early, We don't know about that much. Dharma, Buddhists are practicing. One way we are kind of happy we get to do some kind of new thing, but one way we are not focusing what we are supposed to focus, right? That's why I said too early, that was.
Too early, yeah, it's so early. But you probably did all of the
frustration, 100,000 frustration, and then 100,000 like 100 silver mantra, that sort of thing. At that time we could read very nicely. Even we started, like as soon as we know how to read text, then sometimes my dad or maybe our teacher, we have to go in some kind of puja for the people. Then we get to go to all day reading, most of the time reading or drumming, whatever we are doing, right? But we don't know anything about what we are doing anyway.
Yeah. And then afterwards, so once you did Nundro at 11, what happened afterwards?
And then still we are kind of making progress. After that, we learn every year we are doing retreat, like 2-3 months in retreat. Then my father, he is kind of smart, but he didn't get to learn those things, but he knew what's supposed to learn. That's how he asked me or my teacher to teach us like Tibetan grammar thing. That's really helped, Then really we could understand what we were reading about, right? Otherwise, just only reading Tibetan text, we cannot understand what does that mean, right? So grammar was the important thing. First thing we learned grammar. It took, 4, 5, 6 months, something like that. Grammar, and then step by step, and then like astrology, and then medicine. That's all. We spent years and years doing that, right? At that time, sometimes we do enjoy, sometimes why we have to do that? Because same time other people going out and like kind of what you call, like some people have like cows and buffalo, they get
farmers
to go,
or
farmers, nomads, they get to go look after them. I don't, because we always have morning and afternoon we need to come here to learn. Sometimes I want to go with them.
Yeah.
That's what we were thinking.
Yeah.
But we
Totally
didn't have a choice
understandable.
because my father was very strict. If he don't do what he says, of course, then we get in big trouble.
Yeah.
So whatever he said, we have to do. Even we don't like, we have to do. That's how until I was 16, 17. Then we were always with my guru. At that time, we did kind of finish Mondo and we did that, like real sadhana, retreat, and like that. At that time, we know a little bit about dharma until I was 16 or 17, and then even one time at that time we don't get like Tibetan calendar, right? Because he was very good astrologer, and then we learned. I have another friend came and learned how to make Tibetan calendar. Even we made Tibetan calendar too. And then even one year we publish or copy or whatever, print it the Tibetan calendar, with deities. That's how we did. And then later Guru tell me, now I think what I know is I think you guys learn. So now you have two choices. If you want to be monks or like that, whole life is dedicated to Dharma, then you don't have to worry about things. Just you could stay in retreat and do practice. But if you are not really want to become monks, and then of course you have to think about make your life, how to make your life comfortable, right? So if you want to go and do some other job, you could do. That's kind of permission I got. Then at that time, I had to think for a while, So what should I do now? At that time, I know a little bit about Dharma, right? What's Dharma? So I don't want to go something against Dharma, right? I don't want to work. So then I decided to focus on the art. While I was learning with my teacher, because after my father was artist too, he was sculptor and then painter too. I was learning little bit, and I wanted to, if I could learn some Dharma art, then I could, same time I could get some money and same time get Dharma. So that's how I focused. After I was 16, then I went to Kathmandu, and also I met one Buddhist teacher, sculptor. That's why I studied with him. Then a little bit different story now.
I want to hear that. Just really quickly about your amchi, because I came here yesterday and you were celebrating the anniversary of his death.
Right.
And so he's your root guru.
Yes.
And so after that entire time, you said you were learning even to like go out and gather plants. And is that something that you continued onwards at all, like the astrological wisdom or amchi knowledge? Did you continue any of that?
I did actually.
Until now? Or?
No, then when I start with focus on art, then almost like totally it's kind of little bit. I was of course doing morning and evening. I'm doing practice whatever I'm supposed to do. Other than I was really focusing on art. I didn't do that much about that.
And so the art teacher, what was his name?
He is from Bhutan. His name is Choku. Choku, yeah. Choku, yeah.
Is he still around now?
I'm not really. I haven't contacted him almost like 4 or 5 years. He was here, and then actually he was invited by one Lama from Kathmandu. His name is Teju Rinpoche. Somehow he came to work for him, and then we are very good connection with the Teju Rinpoche. That's how he was working there, and I went to help him, and that's how I learned.
Okay. And so will you share, because you have so many different skills in the art, will you share then about all the things he taught you? And we're going to actually, which is so wonderful, be able to walk around and see some examples.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Art also, it has a whole different, I don't know how to say, life or whatever you call it, Dharma and art, right? And also art. First thing I know a little bit about, I have a background, right? Already because my dad was artist, so I know a little bit how to paint and such and such thing. But I wasn't happy with that. Right? That wasn't kind of making me happy, right? Oh, I need to go a little bit more than this. That's why I went to him. Because of course, if one person doing so many things, it cannot be that detailed and nice, right? That's how it happened to my dad, But I have some kind of idea. Then I was working with a Buddhist teacher. He is also very young. Also, he's also same as me. He has a what do you call that? He's also good practitioner. He knows about dharma. And then, of course, I know a little bit dharma, and that's how we are very good friends. We became very good friends. So he really liked me, and then I also like him, and then we always get very good. So we stay almost 2 years, something like together, Wherever he get invited, I get to go with him, and then working or learning same time. Art means always kind of. Other thing is we could listen, and if you have good knowledge, we could learn. That's it. The art is first you have to understand, then watch by eyes, and then you have to have good hand too to make, right? Even if some people have they could understand, but their hands doesn't help drawing or making something. They can't do anything, right? So yeah, art is lots of work actually, not like kind of modern art, right? That you have to follow, and especially Buddhist style. When we are making statues, polishing is very important. We have to polish very nicely smooth. So when we paint or gold leaf, it's totally smooth. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's how long. And after 2 years, then after 2 years studying with him, then after some time he went to the Bhutan, and then at that time I was 18. The first time when I was 18, I made one statue myself. At that time, actually, my father was still alive. He gave me some kind of idea, advice, and then myself I was working. That is village nearby here actually. I was just 18.
In a way, you have to be a perfectionist to be a dharma artist in this kind of context.
Yeah, one way that's true. They're older than me, I'm younger than them, but still my mind is, I have a big responsibility. I thought, man, I'm very old now. My mind is already mature, actually. I always tell my children too. They're like 20, 25, still they look like children. Wow, what's even when I was 17, 18, I thought, man, I was grown up. I was just grown up, and I took big responsibility, that's all like that. Totally. So that looks like you never have to have like karmic connection, right? Previous life karma, and that's how it is. Some people is still 20, 30, they don't have anything responsibility. They always act like children, right? But I was like that anyway. When I was 17, 18, I thought maybe I was kind of big grown people, adult people. That's all I have. Feeling.
Yeah, it makes so much sense, especially knowing what you've accomplished now. There's a part of you that's able to do so much that feels very karmic as well.
Yeah, I think so.
The naturalness of it. And okay, so you started doing arts at 18, really delving in. And then how long did you study with that artist from Bhutan?
I was just only 2 years I was working with him, and then later after he went to Bhutan, and then somehow at that time in Hyolmo area, I think I have to say just only me probably, that new style making statues. So then I started, then immediately I became busy, One with my father, him also kind of well-known person, actually artist around this area. So people contact him, and then he's recommended, of course, now my son is also better than me, then we could work. That's how we did it. I worked there, and I went to other place, Gorkha, and the other place also to work, At that time, my father was also with me. At that time, when I was only 18, at that time, I was able to do sculpting myself. Painting is still, I wasn't perfect, but I know a little bit. I wanted to make progress about painting. Same time, sculpting and painting. But for me, it used to be like Tibetan Buddhist, Bhutan. If you are sculptor, just only he does sculpting only, right? And if you're a painter, then they do only painting. They don't do together, So for me, it's gonna help each other, But that same year, then actually my father passed away. Actually, it was a little bit difficult for me. I was just only 18. Even when he passed away, I was working with my teacher in other side of the village. If you go like 1 hour, 2 hours, something down here, I was working by foot, yeah. With my other teacher. Amazing, at that time, of course, we don't have a telephone or nothing, we communicate. Not that far, it's just 2-3 hours. We don't hear that much. I was working with teacher here. Then my parents here, I had always feeling very bad and having very bad dream actually. Then somehow I decided I want to go and check my home. Then I decided to come home, and then at that time he was okay. Even at that time, some other people passed away in our village right here. And my father was Lama too. He was doing ceremony, like after 3 days, we do like one ceremony. It's called Mingjang Maiden. That we are kind of, liberating that people. Maiden is called. He was doing that ceremony. When I got home, then as soon as I got home, then I went to that place and I helped him. And then after 6-7 p.m. then we came home, and then suddenly he goes, I got a very bad headache. And then he never cured, he was all night he was kind of bad headache, and he was not, painful, but he said he's just all closed eyes and like that. He called, how is it? No, it's not bad. No, it's not good. The next morning he passed away. That's how. Of course, then I had to deal with that. And at that time, I got a little bit sick. And before that, I never got sick and nothing like that. After then, of course, we have to deal with until 49 days, we have to do some puja. Usually, we have 3 brothers. I'm the youngest one. My middle brother was studying in Kathmandu. The older brother was in India. See, he went India to make some money. That's why he went to India.
So you're the only one there.
Yeah, I was the only one here. Even as I was working there, I came here. Then that day he passed away.
So did you do the cremation for him?
Yeah.
You organized it?
Yeah. So I was just 18 that time.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense too. Earlier, you saying that you were like an adult by 18.
Yeah.
In a way, you kind of went through so many things that somebody else.
For dharma really helped. I know a little bit about dharma. Of course, we have to die, and something is going to happen, and that's really helped me. If I don't know anything about dharma, it will be very hard, for me. Like that early age, he's passing away like that.
Yeah, to really connect to impermanence and the preciousness. Yeah. So you started art at 18, as we said, and then how long after that were you focused on the arts and dharma? Like, have you been doing that ever since?
Yeah, after that, of course. I don't know what year that is exactly, but since then I go out and work a little bit. Then of course every year I come in what's called summertime. It's when it gets rainy season and like that, then we don't have that much things to do outside. If I get time, I will come and do retreat actually. At that time, my teacher is still alive, right? He was still alive. If we come in 1-2 months, 2-3 months, we come and do retreat.
And what were some of the retreats you were doing? And what was the focus?
Retreat and lineage is called Jatsan. What we were doing in Hyolmo area at that time, on the Nyingma, inside Nyingma, there's one northern treasure. It's called Changdel, right? Yeah, we are doing is sometimes chapter called, sometimes it's Kunjukchidi actually. Japan Nimbus cycle. It has its own cycle. What we are doing, so we are doing retreat and all about that, So, of course, so many deities, that, right? Like Kunjukchidi, then Lama, Idam, Khato, 3 roots, and that sort of thing. We have to do retreat for that, because after that, of course, my father passed away, and I had to do a little bit Lama's work too, right? To do that kind of ceremony, we have to do retreat. We have to finish, to do some kind of ceremony for the dead people. We have to finish we have to do the charity practice. We have to do charity retreat, and there's peaceful and restful days, 100 days of practice. We have to do retreat that and that sort of thing. At the same time, we were working and focusing on doing retreat too.
Are you retreating in a
Right.
cabin?
No,
in
I
a room,
received.
or what was your...
Okay, now let's go. That's the only reason I built here retreat center, right?
Okay.
At that time, we don't have anything like that. If we want to do retreat, we will have to make own little, what is it, little hut.
Yeah.
Around we put some kind of bushes, cut bushes, and top we put plastic or tab like that, just temporary thing. Then we have to bring own food and we cook by ourselves, At that time, one time we had very difficult, we were 3 people doing just only somewhere there. My teacher staying here. We are doing 3-month retreat. Like just after not even a month, one night we have some kind of very funny noise, I don't know what that was. We are cooking and just we sleep, and next morning one of my friends went just as soon as it's kind of light. He went outside, he saw tiger around our hut right here. Oh my gosh, there's tiger.
Wow.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So scary, Then we look and he went, tiger went all the way down the little spot area. All day sleeping there. And just as soon as getting dark, and he come around here and then around our rigid cabin, coming there and playing there and making noise, Then we know that's tiger. We couldn't go out. We couldn't sleep all night. All night we were making fire and like that. We heard that if animal that doesn't like fire smell, right? The next morning, same thing, 3 days, kind of like that. Daytime that goes down, and evening come here and play around our retreat, whatever hut. Then we talked to my teacher, no, because we cannot go because we made commitment, right? 3 months. You cannot go, then we have no choice.
You and the tiger.
Yeah. That was so difficult, That's why I started, if that's possible, of course. We had that kind of difficult situation, right? If you get rain or wind and then it's rain dripping in like that. That's why I thought maybe when I grow up and after my article, I went to the West, and then that's how I have some kind of idea, and I have some money. So that's why I decided maybe it could benefit some local people, who want to do retreat and like that. Maybe it might benefit. That's how idea retreat center, building a retreat center. That's the thing.
Wow. Yeah, it came from your own experience.
Yeah, experience. At the same time, of course. Then after few years, my teacher went to Bhutan, and then I was working here, around here, everywhere, I was always busy, but I never had to go and kind of find job, It's always people coming and asking me to come and help. That was I was doing, because probably some people, artists, of course, they always think about money, right? I was thinking that, whatever possible, whatever they offer, I take that and I try to help them. That's what I was doing. And then in 93, then my Buddhist teacher, actually he went to 92 in the USA somehow. So he didn't like that much in the West. Then he couldn't finish his project and he came back, and then 93, then he asked me, would you like to go to America to help me? Of course, I don't have any clue. I don't have any concept going West. Of course, I'm happy to go and see, America. I have some kind of dream, Then that's how we started going to West. Then we went to the West, USA, in California. First time I was flying in plane. Somehow I dream about flying in a plane. That's how I get to go to. That was in 93. We stayed 6 months. Then we came back again. And then later again, 97, again they contact us, and that's how I went there. And then, of course, they need more job, and that's why I thought maybe better to stay over there. I could help a little bit about what I know in Dharma, right? That's how
were you helping with building
stupas, statues, painting, and like that sort of thing. And then, of course, they keep asking me. Then then also I asked them, okay, then if I need to help here, then maybe then I should get green card. You should apply. And that was very easy. That was 97. That was kind of very easy to apply. Then they helped me to apply my resident card. Then I got green card. That's how I'm stuck there, Still, I wasn't staying there, As long as I get green card, then I go there like work 4 or 5 months and then come back. And then I have an idea, At that time, I don't have that kind of big dream, Always I come and I help to build a little bit whatever they need. Repainting statue like that I did. But before that, my teacher was passed away anyway. That was in 93 actually. When I went to USA, at that time my teacher passed away.
Did he pass before you left?
No, after I left, then he passed away here. So then I always have a dream, if I could do something benefit, of course I always want to go and come and help. At that time, here's nothing, my teacher passed away, my father passed away. There's nothing here, around here, Actually, the top there was Guru Rinpoche. That was actually cremation place, actually. There's one wall stupa there. That's how then, of course, I want to do something in one village. Because I have own village, or maybe I get to learn here because of my teacher. And same time, a villager who really need help, what I could help. That's how. First thing I brought this statue. And since then, at that time I don't have this kind of any kind of dream, to build stupa, retreat place or nothing. And then later, but I'm going west, and at that time also I get some more money, and then okay, I want to do something expanded. And then finally, I have okay, now I want to build retreat, and that's how I did.
And when was that?
That was, like 5-6 years ago. First thing, I put statue there, and then slowly at that time, this place is kind of old, where my teacher was staying here, And that was so sad to see, old kind of ruined building, Then I decided to do this thing, little gathering hall, whatever. I built that. As soon as I finished building everything, I did big ceremony thing, and then earthquake hit. Then all destroyed, that retreat place destroyed, and then that was big thing again. That was when was that, like
2015?
15, yeah. That year. That was before I made this building like old style, stone and clay and stone, old style, but it didn't survive earthquake. We finished for this celebration, all finishing. I went to USA after 10 days, a week, and then I had that earthquake. And I had to come back immediately here.
So is this building now more earthquake?
Yeah, it's earthquake proof, yeah. And that time, just right after 2 days, 3 days, I came back to Kathmandu, and I just came here. Because they didn't tell me what happened exactly here, that it's all gone, it's all not useless. This building is survived. This building was survived. Then I came here, wow. I was thinking at that time, I have a dharma point of view. That's impermanent, that's nothing. I was here in cleaning, trying to clean, everywhere scattered, somehow sad, and somehow, okay, this is impermanent now, here it is. Nothing to attachment. Same time, at that time, Dinjum Rinpoche's Yangtze from Bhutan, and then Yishe Dorje, they came here actually. I was doing that, and they came with little kind of relief package, whatever you call. And he has one media guy too. He wasn't in dress, Dinjum Rinpoche, and then I recognized him. Then later I asked his attendant, he's Dinjum Rinpoche, and then first later I'm just hear some local people who even maybe just some people trying to clean here. Then later I told him a story, that media guy asked me, wow, you lost everything here, but still you're so happy. How come? He asked me that, and of course that's always my natural, what you will say, right? Yeah, I'm happy now because now I don't have to take care of anything. I'm so happy, free. That's why I'm happy, At that point, I wasn't sure, okay, now that's so useless. I spend lots of my time and money. It's all gone now. at that point, I wasn't sure that I'm going to rebuild again. No, I don't think I could do again. That's why I have a doubt. I just clean it either way, and then I put some good valuable thing, build a little shelter, and put it everything. Then I went back, I had to do some job. Then again, I couldn't stand, everything ruined, everything scattered. No, I have to do it. Then I have to work hard.
We're looking at the inside of the beautiful temple that you've created, and this used to be your root guru's home. When did you rebuild it?
That was, let's see, 2007.
And do we want to walk through, because you've done there's so many details here that you've done with your own hands. Can you bring us through the process?
Yeah. Mold is I made out of plastic silicon. And then after that, this is so called white cement. People think these are all some kind of metal, but it's not metal. And after this statue is made out of concrete. I made that just before earthquake. But luckily, this building didn't collapse. It got a little damage, but it's still surviving. So.
Anything else we should pay attention to here?
Not much actually. Yeah, this is all also that building itself is my idea. For I draw some kind of idea, design. So many things here also. We don't have a pillar. Used to be, you have to have a pillar to make this big building, right? So I didn't put pillar. This is all metal work. That's also my idea, somehow. At that time, I wasn't working metal anyway. When I saw idea, then I got idea, right? So then I bought little machine and then I learned from them.
So this is the outside as well. That's surrounded by stupas. And each of these you built? Or what was the process?
Here's actually, there's one set of stupa, right? There's supposed to be 8 of them. A little bit different, Base and top part is same, but this middle part is all different, right? 8 has different. Rest is same, but all together I have 108 stupa here. These are all, of course, I have to fix by hand. Other one is, I made mold again. So I made mold, and then mold is, bottom part is metal, and top part is, of course, I have to use silicon mold. Then I have 108 all together.
And what is inside it?
Material is white cement. White cement and sand I use, and then inside it, of course, we have to use mantra, right? So while we are making casting, we made empties inside. So that's why when we finish, when we are putting together, then we put mantra. In middle part, we say sokshin. It's called light force or whatever you say, sokshin. Each has a sokshin, a little sokshin made out of kind of juniper, like that.
What does that look like, the life force one?
Kind of, what do you call? There's no shape or nothing like that. Just only bottom part is supposed to be square, and then top part is supposed to be round. One is stick anyway. Bottom is a little bit bigger, top is a little smaller. It's called sokshin. When we are making Tibetan style, I think, Tibetan Buddhism, have to have that sort of thing when it's stupa or statues.
And how do you decide what mantras go in?
Oh, there is a text. We have to follow that. This depends what kind of deities you are making, and then each has a different, generally all same, but there's a little bit things we have to change. Each deity, like Shakyamuni Buddha, he has his own mantra, and Guru Rinpoche his own mantra, like that.
And then here you have your song offering space, your
that's like
fireplace. Space. So there's the 3-year retreat space. You are the retreat master, right?
Retreat master, yeah, we could say.
Okay. So you're the advisor, like they check in with you about their practice.
Yeah. But I invite one Lama, he's Holiness Chazor Rinpoche is one of many students. He lives in Hyolmo too. I asked him to give like empowerment, that sort of thing, because he's seen it. And
I see.
Of course, that's why I have to respect him. And then to beginning, I asked him to come here and give teaching in empowerment. After that, then I could teach or talk about how to chant during session and that sort of thing. Then also I could, of course, there's instruction in Tibetan, right? Then I could read and I could understand. I could explain to them that sort of thing. Yeah.
But he mainly comes and gives the main teaching. And then you kind of advise.
Yes, right.
I see. And you said that there's 6 people in there?
Right now at the moment, but actually that room is kind of good for the 8 people. Somehow we started with 8, then we had a problem, then 2 have to leave, and right now we have 6.
And all different genders, or?
Used to be one Anis here, female, rest is male, but right now just only 6 lamas,
Okay.
And they are from, 2 of them from India, Sikkim actually, and others are around here.
And so now we're in another little spot, and is this part of the 108 stupas?
Yes, right. Around here, and then around the temple, it's all together 108.
Yeah. And then you have all of the Mani.
Mani mantra, It has more than 500 that square of stone, or I don't know what to say. It took almost about a year, 5-6 months. Like 6-7 people were working every day. And then first thing I draw that mantra, and then everybody's carving, chiseling. And this is just only Mani mantra, right? There's you see, right, the little stupa there. Inside there is very special. It's called one text. It's called dharma. It's like this kind of stone, little bigger than that. Like I have like more than 200 stone. All has a little small text. Actually, big book. Actually, I carve into stone, and then that's there. It's very dharma. I don't know how to say. Sutra. Actually, sutra. Whoever reading and hearing, it says it could get liberated. Right. That's why dharma. Dharma means liberating. Right. Liberate. So that was in there. It's super actually. First I have to write down. Then that time I invite one guy from Dolpa actually. He was doing all the time that carving. He was there like more than a year actually, carving every day. Then after finish, then when I put gold leaf, I apply gold leaf. Then I put that in there. Usually we put mantra, right, print in paper, but for long lasting, that stone means stone. That will be there forever, right?
Will you tell us about the Guru Rinpoche statue?
Before statue, of course, it has a whole stupa here. So at that time, my teacher was alive. He was staying right here. So after he passed away, then his statue, and then they cremated my guru also right here. So later I found this Guru Rinpoche statues. Before that, I have also idea, I want to build or something this type of here. Because I didn't want to make out of cement or nothing, right? It is not permanently safe, right? That's why finally I found this Guru Rinpoche statue. Actually, this statue is made in cast in India, Delhi. Under Khenpo Namdo Rinpoche, he has a plan, he wants to spread that Guru Rinpoche statue much as he could. So right now, so far, they made same size, same one, like more than 30 statues. That's everywhere. Like United States, they have 3 of them in Germany, France, Canada, Australia, everywhere. Somehow I got one too. Then this is perfect. Even this is brass, so it's not going to be what's called damage or nothing like that. Weatherized. That's why I decided to choose. So after my guru passed away, and this is empty space, and then I thought, maybe I should put here. So to put that, this hill is all covered with the big trees like that over there. We see like big trees. I have to clear out that trees. To do that, of course, we don't have any machine or nothing. I asked my villager. It took 10 days to clean this whole mountain. We are using just axe and just hand tool, That's how we put it here. So at that time, even we don't have a road. So I have to hire that 25-seater helicopter, Russian helicopter, that's Nepali government owned that. I have to hire that to bring that statue here. So after 1 year, then also we made this road, Statue itself is brass, but bottom throne is stone and cement. All those designs are carved into cement. But first when we made statue in throne, but when earthquake happened, that throne is totally kind of destroyed by earthquake, almost like bomb. But statue itself didn't affect that much, so I had to build again. Now this is earthquake proof.
So speaking of the paramita of patience, I feel like you have a tremendous amount of patience. Having done things twice.
Twice, yeah, I know, that's the thing. First, I thought maybe I was kind of tired, when first finished and then it's earthquake destroyed, and I thought, oh, no, I can't do that. I got a little bit tired. After a year, first thing, I cannot leave this that damage. Then first thing, I want to build a statue. And then the rest of the retreat place, and that I wasn't sure. But seeing that destroy ruin, then that didn't make me happy. Oh no, I have to do something again. That's how I started again. It took me 4 years to finish whole thing. Start again. Hopefully now it will last for a while.
Yeah. And what's happening for you now? Are there other projects underway or?
No, actually now I'm financially or maybe physically tired now. That's it now. I don't have building project like this isn't the big deal, but maintaining is the big deal. Maintaining is since I started, and I'm always here to maintain. That's the big deal. So still, when I started myself. Now usually I made one committees to take care of that because I don't know how to say. To have that kind of thing, you have to have some kind of committees, right? This is not my private thing. So I made one committee. That committee is just for the paperwork. So everything's right now, I'm checking everything. So in future, I'm not worried too much one ways, I will do what I could in future. If people has a karma or married, they could do something, they could maintain or they could rebuild or anything. But my part is whatever I could, I do. That's all. That's what my teacher told me. Don't worry about future. Do whatever you need to, whatever you could. Future, if that's something happened, it will happen. If not, then don't worry that,